Earth, vessel of life, home of the Whopper, choo-choo train filled with walking bundles of DNA, and me, Batman. Chances are, if you are able to plant a flower on the soil in ideal conditions, watch Disney Nature's penguins at a movie theater near you, and or have nipples, you are most likely an inhabitant of the planet Earth. And, if you've been keeping up with the Earthly Scoop from that one vegan magazine you don't know how to unsubscribe from, you might know that the current state of affairs of our planet is a little off its trolley. Now, before you get your pantalones in a twist, I don't mean the actual hunk of rock. Planet Earth is fine and will be fine unless an unexpected asteroid, black hole, or supernova happens to come along to eradicate the planet and spark a bunch of other galactic mayhem. Rather, I mean that we have an emergency, a dire crisis, a somebody shaved off both my eyebrows moment regarding our planet's life, ecosystems, and ecosystem services, and how these are being degraded, depleted, and prison shanked many a time and oft by the morbidly obese ecological footprints of insolent, fleshy humans. Now, before you say my name 5 times and summon a demon in your mirror that looks like me but without eyeballs, I'm utilizing my mind-reading powers to know exactly what you're thinking. Get your goddamn buttcase out of my skull and tell me what this frickin' video's about. Nah, I like it in here. There's a lot of empty space, and my voice echoes if I'm loud enough. But as for your second request, I'd be delighted to entertain your notion by bequeathing you with a brief summary! Essentially, ever since the times of the spinning Jenny and the revolting French's head-rolling chindiggery, the planet's biotic and abiotic stuff have been getting buffeted, battered, and beaten the living daylights out of by the hormonal creatures with thumbs known as humans, and their multifarious gizmos and gadgets used to harvest resources and scratch their unreachables. Environmental destruction is a rapidly growing calamity that I normally wouldn't give a hoot, a holler, or a rat's anus about, but the fact is that the problem is so nonchalantly thrown about, and the consequences seem so dire, that I wish to at least inform a couple frickin' people about what the heck is actually going on. So, after pounding months of knowledge into my head, with only some of it seeping right back out, my aim for this video is to heighten your spidey senses by making you aware of all the baneful shenanigans currently going down on our drifting space orb forever stuck in an Indy 500 track. But Ace, you query, examining a 4-leaf clover to see if it's a poison ivy leaf. I don't know the simplest of trivial factoids about Mother Nature, let alone how we're degrading, depleting, and prison shanking her many a time enough. How do we— Say no more, my bamboozled buddy! For, like the overachieving ghoul I am, I've concocted a dastardly plan to take all of the elusive extremities exasperating the environment and cover them all in one project. Like the regal bloodhound, I've tracked down each and every ecological tight spot I could locate and, since my agent said it's protocol, researched their causes, effects, and solutions. Then, I shall verbally present them to you, with witty banter and over 2,000 pieces of gnarly imagery to hopefully keep one entertained. Here's the number. On a scale from no worries to I'm surprised there ain't mass panic, this measures the level of oof the thingy could bringy. Finally, following that, I'll tell you the top 11 environmental plights that we should probably try and reduce the impact of instead of scratching ourselves and watching sports on television. That's where the meat of this massive project is, so if you don't like words, then that starts in part 2. And, if one like yourself is probed to disagree with any of this intel, I prompt you to do your own research from any other reliable sources, though I've worked my left leg off to ensure that each piece of information is true, and not some government scheme to invest in renewable energy. Now, is your seatbelt clicked tight? Do you feel the prime coursing through your bloodstream like a million Osmosis Joneses? Are you Reggie? Well, before the government tracks down my location and silences me, I present to you Earth is getting frickin' clobbered in the bumhole right now! And how you can stop it. I'm only happy when it rains. The contamination of the atmosphere with pollutants dirtier than a teenager's mind. A particular effect of air pollution that comes once per year to span half of the Asian continent and give all the little boys and girls emphysema. It's air pollution, but it builds up to deadly concentrations due to walls. Cars and trucks spurting huge carbon dioxide and air pollution emissions skywards cause they're dirty buggers. The secretion of hazardous gas and particle exhaust from diesel engines. When life gives you lemonade, basically makes plants not work. Starting with an aerosol spray can and ending with skin cancer and an atmospheric dead zone. Spitting into the pool. Hey, a valuable ecosystem service that filters and dilutes the water for us for free? Let's overload that son of a gun to max capacity till it's not functioning properly! A massive, rotating plastic cyclone twice the size of Texas and 4 times as nauseating. Though it sounds like Trash Island from Isle of Dogs, it's actually just garbage soup. But twice the size of Texas. And there's 5. When a clear lake one day becomes a black, sticky graveyard the next. When an essential underground source of water for drinking and irrigation gets globs of oil and a loogie in response for its patronage. Although treated wastewater that's gone through all 3 versions of treatment usually comes out actually pretty gnarly, a couple places don't do that, they're too frickin' lazy. And that is how lethargy triggers waterborne diseases. When synthetic fertilizer put on plants becomes runoff and flows into a body of water, where the nitrates and phosphates present in the fertilizer cause the local algae populations to rapidly increase and, when they die, aerobic decomposers have to utilize more dissolved oxygen to decompose the excess algae, increasing the biological oxygen demand and lowering the amount of dissolved oxygen for marine life, leading to hypoxic or anoxic conditions that can suffocate fish or bottom dwellers. It's trash, but mechanical. It's trash, but yours. It's trash, but it can kill you. Hazardous waste, but it's also the defective Game Boy you threw out years ago, and it's poisoning the working class in China. Whether it be landfills, incinerators, or your neighbor's underwear drawer, 'tis probably better if you recycle. Kanye West's music. And yes, somehow noise is legit scientifically classified as pollution. Only you can prevent pollution. Your is on fire. A current hot topic that, if not carefully handled, could spark a surplus of doomsday-goading anus aches, including making icebergs suicidally sweat. When even the long-frozen Himalayan soil starts melting like an unrefrigerated Hershey's bar. Overtime during a game of worms. Say goodbye to your coast! The salty water gets even saltier, and the coral reefs and anemone die! You think a hurricane on the US East Coast every year is bad. Try more droughts, heat waves, floods, heavy storms, and people complaining about how it's too hot or cold outside. Soon, Africa ain't gonna be the only place with West Nile virus. So, ready for 30% of the land-dwelling plants and animals to disappear if the world's temperature goes up another 1.5 to 2.5 degrees Celsius? Heh! Famine, am I right? Gimme next, Chief, I'm popping off. Uranium fever. How much energy you get out of your energy. Real quick here, for the energy sources themselves, gonna list their pros and cons, the goods and bads, the Infinity Trains and the Teen Titans Goes. This'll help you determine how much bang for your buck you'll receive with each energy source, with a little help from the thermometer. Ah yes, the typical black goop that is the blood to cars, the banknotes to billionaires, and the bane to existences. Hey! Want to decimate an overlying boreal forest and jack up the water bill to go swimming in oil that is more lard-ballish than usual? Hop right in, fricker! Earth ain't running out of oil itself anytime soon, but how about the oil we can actually access for extraction? Thanky face. If you want to continue being a strong and independent country, either find your own frickin' oil or switch to something else!
1273 Enos Toxic Mercury also warms the globe, can you feel that?
Coal companies telling you their coal is clean, when actually... it's not, no such thing, still pollutes, frickin' dirtier than my mind, yeah. Whoa, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa, ow! It's alright. If you thought my farts were toxic, deadly, and last for up to 240,000 years, check out the radiation vibes of the nuclear power plant's frickin' waste. The most renewable non-renewable to exist in these here parts, yes sirree, yeah! Shale Rock says, if you want your oil and natural gas deposits, you'll have to go through me! Human says, okay, and blast momentously high-pressure water through the cracks that contaminates groundwater and causes frickin' earthquakes. Not getting the most bang for your buck from energy resources. How about abiding by the theory of progress and switching from million-year-old dead things to the 4 renewable elements, and some? If decades of sitting in corners chanting hymns about the solar body has taught me anything, it's that the sun is pretty gnarly. It's solar power, but also heat! Also, it kinda kills deserts, but frickin' they're already dead anyway. Portable solar-powered duct tape, frickin' gimme! Who knew a renewable resource could be so environmentally unfriendly? At least water whales look gnarly. Whether it be firewood, biodiesel, or marijuana juice, you can bet that this energy source is destroying the environment in one way or another. Hey, Satan's decided to lend a hand in the energy crisis. A truly marvelous invention. An energy source that takes more energy to power it than it actually fricking makes. undisputed victor of best energy source. It's like a pinwheel, but it's 328 times the size and grinds up birds in its giant blades. Okay, that part's not so good. If wind is the subjectively best energy source, thorium is the objectively best. It's basically uranium nuclear energy with no flaws. Would be an excellent and powerful source of energy if it was actually even developed yet. Essentially what happens when you turn an electrical grid into a Swiss Army knife, then make it join the Green Party. Don't stop believing. Mercury, lead, arsenic, formaldehyde, asbestos, radon, PCBs, BPA, this fricker of a word, Fortnite, and any other hazardous substances that lurk in the ecosphere and shut down your immune system. If you didn't drink antifreeze before, you will after it's dumped into the water supply. Heh, you know what's fun? Pumping rats full of chemicals until they blow up. Yeah, what I meant by deregulation was to entrust my health and safety to companies that don't give the slightest frick about my health and safety. Unless they do, but, you know, that's rarer than a ginger Asian girl in Montana. You're next. Hey, if you go to counseling or Siggy dieting to quit stuffing your maw with a mini nicotine and arsenic filled smokestack with ingredients found in rat poison and rocket fuel, or the ebook version known commonly to the mentally ill as a jaw, lung damage might not make you die early. You know how nobody owns the ocean, the air, the climate, the strong and independent woman of color, etc.? Well, this makes it commonplace for said things to get the shaft by any stinking peasant through litter, pollution, relentless yodeling sounding out across the countryside, etc. And it's kind of very bad. The Environmental Destruction-ometer, which is currently at level Paul Bunyan, trying to fit 500,000 people into a small bus station. What better location to have 40% of Earth's human population live within 100 kilometers of than land expected to be submerged underwater within a century? The best way to reducing population growth is to point blank residents in the head if they fail to abide to the law of only owning one child. When Syria gets destroyed by a volcano.